Teenagers' attitudes about marijuana, they are changing at the same time that more states are making the drug legal. A new study in the Journal of the American Medical Association finds that some teens perceive pot as having a lower risk than in the past. Recreational marijuana use is now allowed in 8 states and Washington, D.C. Medical use is legal in 28 states and D.C. One study predicts the legal marijuana market to generate around $22 billion with a B a year by 2020. John Blackstone is in San Francisco, where voters legalized recreational pot last year. John, good morning.
Good morning. Well, we're here at Spark, a medical marijuana dispensary, and despite legalization in California, this is still the only kind of place where you can legally buy marijuana in California. Well, the state develops rules for the retail sale of recreational marijuana to anyone over the age of 21. But a new study suggests that legalization for adults may be impacting the way some teenagers view the risks of marijuana. Clay Hurst and his mother Sylvia now agree that teenage use of marijuana can be dangerous. But when Clay was 14, he didn't see the risk.
My son is an addict, and he has fortunately...
Was an addict.
He has been in recovery for over 5 years.
You were a young teenager when you started using marijuana. Mm-hmm. What attracted you to it?
The taboo idea, as knowing, of course, you know your parents are not going to support you as a 14-year-old smoking marijuana, so it's kind of the danger, the rush of that.
He started using just very casually, and then it started being more of a daily habit, and that was quite alarming. He was really spaced out and zoned out all the time.
Clay started using ecstasy, prescription drugs, and alcohol. You put your family through some tough times.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Fortunately for me, I was one of the lucky ones. For a lot of my friends, it did not end up that way. I had a few die, a few overdose.
Today, he helps educate young people about the dangers of drugs.
We know that early initiation of marijuana use, that is initiation in adolescence, is associated with a greater risk for marijuana dependence later on in life.
Magdalena Serta is co-author of a new study of marijuana use by teenagers in Washington and Colorado, 2 states that legalized recreational use for adults in 2012.
We found that very different things in Colorado and Washington.
In Washington state, she found that since 2012, marijuana use among 8th graders has increased by 2% and among 10th graders by 4.1%. And the perceived harmfulness of pot has declined about 15% among 8th and 10th graders. But in Colorado, her study found legalization had no impact on marijuana use by teenagers.
The risks to young people appear not to exist.
Ethan Nadelman of the Drug Policy Alliance promotes marijuana legalization.
For many years now, people have argued that it's a bad idea to legalize marijuana for adults because that will lead to more young people getting in trouble with marijuana. If anything, the latest results prove that that is simply not the case.
But Serta says the conflicting results in Washington and Colorado point to the need for more study of the impact of legalization on teenagers.
We do know that regular long-term use is associated with more problems like mental health problems, economic and social problems like financial difficulties, job loss. And so that's what we really want to prevent.
Sylvia Hurst worries that legalization in California will lead more teenagers down the road Clay once followed.
The effects of it are not always understood by youth.
It could be at least another year before sellers here in California receive permits for the retail sale of marijuana. In Massachusetts, another state that voted in November to legalize recreational use, lawmakers have decided to delay retail sales for another 6 months until mid-2018. While they develop rules to safely and effectively oversee those sales.
John, thank you. I'm glad that warning is going out.